The spiritual energy beam, like a destructive laser, shot up from below, piercing one of the great emperor's wings as he stood high above. The sheer power of the spiritual energy was so tremendous that it tore through the atmosphere and extended into the vast, silent cosmos beyond, momentarily illuminating the universe. The great emperor stood amidst the swirling smoke and dust, his body partially ravaged by the terrifying attack. The dreadful spiritual energy beam continued to shoot up from the deep pit below, showing no sign of stopping. The great emperor looked at the scene, his eyes widened with astonishment as he spoke. So you actually learned it. As he completed his transformation into the three pure ones, his fiery red eyes grew wider, and veins gradually bulged on his face from sheer excitement. Facing him, Yu showed no arrogance, speaking casually, to face a powerful and belligerent foe like you, I must constantly become stronger to protect what I care about. As soon as he finished speaking, Yu's body immediately transformed into a different form. He was covered in hard, spiky armor that bore the outlines of a humanoid shape. Countless roots began to protrude and sway in the air. Yu had finally completed his transformation. His new form contained abundant blazing golden spiritual energy, making him many times stronger than before. Yu narrowed his eyes, his gaze becoming frighteningly sharp. He spoke, "You shouldn't underestimate me, or your immortality will end here." In an instant, Yu manifested countless clones in various forms, ready to continue fighting the Great Emperor. The Great Emperor standing opposite looked at the scene and couldn't help but gasp in amazement. How can you manifest countless clones to fight at the same time? Is this the power granted to you by the one transforms into three pure ones? Yu replied calmly, "You are not wrong." A cold light flashed in the Great Emperor's eyes. His face became twisted and maniacal, and he suddenly burst into loud laughter. "Haha, this is truly fun." His voice, filled with excitement, echoed through the air. On my journey here, I have fought countless powerful opponents, but only you can bring me this joy. The Great Emperor shot out countless crimson tentacles and shouted, "Consider this a reward for amusing me. I will show you." The tentacles wrapped around him, forming a large cocoon. The next second, the Great Emperor also transformed into a new, stronger form. His colossal body stomped down, causing dust and smoke to fly up tensely. He looked straight at Yu in front of him and finished his sentence through gritted teeth. "I have power to dominate the universe." After speaking, he stood still, not bothering to attack, seemingly waiting for Yu's offensive. If one were to speak for the Great Emperor, they would say, "I permit you to attack first." Yu was not reserved. One of his clones gathered spiritual energy in its mouth and roared, "Then allow me to witness the power of the universe's ruler. Let's see if it can subdue a humble little tree like me." Yu used the dragon's breath to attack the Great Emperor standing before him. The Great Emperor waved his hand, releasing a powerful stream of spiritual energy to counter his attack and sneered at child's play. Yu seized this opportunity to suddenly control another clone to appear right behind the Great Emperor. This clone's arm gathered a powerful stream of golden spiritual energy. With a crash, the spiritual energy from the attack suddenly scattered, causing the ground to shake violently. Struck by the blow, the Great Emperor's body, along with rocks and debris, was sent flying into the air. A massive an explosion rang out, and his body slammed heavily into the ground, causing smoke and dust to billow up. Both of Yu's true form arms simultaneously broke. Standing in the thick dust, he spoke, "This Great Emperor's skin is too tough. Just the recoil destroyed both my arms." At the same time, the Great Emperor buried in the rubble also stood up, one of his arms having been smashed. Yu lifted a large mountain into the air. He used steel transformation to alter the mountain's material. Yu shouted, "Take this." He directly hurled the mountain towards the Great Emperor. This time, the Great Emperor did not stay put to endure the blow. He inhaled deeply, and his body suddenly swelled up like a balloon. The next second, he suddenly blew out a colossal surge of spiritual energy. The spiritual energy, similar to the Uchiha clan's fire release, carried scorching heat and struck directly at the oncoming steel mountain. The sound of the collision instantly echoed across the battlefield. The Great Emperor's spiritual energy was actually able to pierce through the massive steel mountain. The steel mountain melted into lava and fell downward. Without giving the Great Emperor time to react, a layer of white mist suddenly surrounded him. The Great Emperor was surprised. "It's the fog." Immediately after, a group of fog monsters suddenly appeared, surrounding the Great Emperor. They bared their fangs and claws, charging towards him. That wasn't all. Innumerable surges of spiritual energy shot down from above, sweeping across the Great Emperor's location and causing the ground to shake violently. The Great Emperor pierced the fog monster in front of him with a claw. Sensing something unusual, he exclaimed in surprise, "I can't kill these fog monsters." Another clone of Yu Yi unleashed a terrifying power. He opened his mouth and roared. Thunder Dragon. Sensing imminent danger, the great emperor was startled and instantly spun around. The Thunder Dragon descended directly from above, instantly leveling a vast mountainous region below. The immense power crushed the great emperor's body, causing him to momentarily stagger and kneel. Lindsay commanded another clone to press the attack. The large eye on his forehead suddenly flared, and he shouted, "Great Emperor, it's not over yet. Take this." A powerful spiritual energy beam shot out from that eye. The spiritual energy whistled through the air, surging across the ground below. It spit quickly, forming a golden streak of light. Finally, it aimed straight for the great emperor's body, and struck. The great emperor immediately let out a raw yell of pain. The great emperor was pushed back a long distance by the blow. Immediately afterward, his body was buried deep at the bottom of the sea. Lindsay pursued closely behind. A column of water suddenly shot up from the sea surface into the sky. Lindsay looked down from above at the sea, which had been split open, revealing a deep trench. The great emperor stood in the center of the trench. Looking up, Lindsay narrowed his eyes, his gaze frighteningly cold. Finally, his gaze settled on the great emperor's resilient neck. This is the end of the video. Catch the next chapters on the Caprama YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to support me. Thank you all very much.